Hello, let's talk about how to build an army for AK47. Now, there are 12 armies in the book. Here's one of them. I've just chosen religious movement. The armies are all fairly generic. They're not named after specific countries, specific armies. So as a religious movement, they might believe in juju berries, or they might believe in their leader as a god, something like that. Now, every army has some allowances, the things you can add on to it. The gaps are things that this particular army isn't allowed. So this army isn't allowed number 2, which is tanks. It's not allowed number 5. It's not allowed number 10. It's not allowed number 14, 15. You get the idea. I think it's a helicopter there. Now, things it can have are priced at 10 points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, etc. Every army, or most armies, have 14 points to spend. So, if you bought light armour, that would cost you 4 of those points. If you want a pair of mortars, that's another 2 points. Everything on this menu can only be bought just once. You can't say, oh, I like light armour, I'll have it twice for 8 points. No, you can't do that. Each of these items you have up to once to ensure the armies are balanced and they're good to play with. They make a good game. So, this religious movement. First of all, every army starts with 3 foot units. The religious movement is allowed up to 0 professional units, which are the best units, none of those, 1 or 2 regular units, and 1 to 2 militia units. I've decided to have 1 regular and 2 militia. That gives you my 3 units. I could have had 2 regular, 1 militia, but that's what it is. Now, so having had those 3 units, I get those out first of all. Now, a basic unit consists of, here we go, militia consists of 10 bases. One of them is the leader, of course, the officer. Regular units consist of 8 bases, one of whom is the officer. Professional units only consist of 6 bases. So the better quality, the less bases you get. So let's form up the initial army. I'll move these out of the way. So initial army always starts with 3 units. So this is a regular unit because it's got 8 bases. There we go. This ensures all the armies are similar in some way. The second unit I'm going to add on to the army is a militia unit. All the foot bases are the same. They have RPG ability. They've got their rifles, other small arms, etc., etc. We don't differentiate whether they got a G3 or an AK47. It doesn't matter, it's just a unit. And this other unit here is another militia. Militia, they're not that good, but they are quite big as units, which can make them very useful. Size can be quite important because it means they can take a bit more punishment. Now I'm just going to clear some of these bases to the side. There we go. Now, just state the obvious again. An army starts with 3 units. I've chosen militia, 10 bases, militia 10 bases, regular 8 bases. Now here's a list I've written down here of all the extra things I bought. It adds up to 14 points. Now first of all, I bought a pair of machine guns for 2 points. Now they must be given to one of the units or split among. I'm going to give 1 to this militia unit and 1 to this militia unit. That's the pair of machine guns. I've also bought a pair of mortars. Heavy weapons like machine guns, mortars, recoilless rifles, they're bought in pairs. Now you can't have more than a pair with the unit, so I'm going to put a mortar with that machine gun and a mortar there. So this regular unit's now got heavy weapon mortar. This militia unit's now got a machine gun and a mortar. And this militia unit's got a machine gun. Now also I bought 4 more bases. 4 more militia bases. I think I'm going to make this militia unit a super big unit. So I'm going to add 3 more militia bases to it. And the 1 militia base to this unit here. That's the infantry done. Now just to recap, this unit of 10 bases now got 2 more bases, now got 12 bases. This militia unit of 10 bases now got 5 more bases, so it's 15 bases. And this unit of 8 regulars got 1 more base, so it's 9 bases. Every army gets a general. This is General Gorgeous. Ooh. He's on a 4x4 centimetre base to differentiate him from everybody else. So there he is. The general doesn't cost any points because everybody gets one. Now, keep with the pairs idea in the rules, I bought a pair of guns. There we go. Now, guns could be field guns, anti-aircraft, any sort of generic artillery. So here's a pair of guns. These are Peter Pig Russian 76mm guns that are used a lot in Africa. This is all from the Peter Pig AK47 range. There's a pair of guns. They don't join a unit, they're their own unit. Now, for only 2 points, I get a pair of technicals. There's a pair of technicals. They're Toyotas. But don't forget, it goes back to 1950s and 60s. Not everything's Toyotas. The next pair of technicals, for another 2 points, is a pair of Land Rovers armed with machine guns. And the third pair of technicals is some Gaz 469s armed with 30 cals again. Now, these are all machine gun armed because I find that's probably what I want. You could have recoilless rifles on them, but I think against a tank, the shots might be good, but the armour on a technical is pretty poor. So that whole army is there. Now, you might be thinking, what is it going to cost? Well, 2, 4, 6, there's 8 vehicles and guns. Now, infantry-wise, there's 10, 20, about 40 bases, about 3 men a base, about 120 figures. So you could probably do it for 120 figures plus 8 vehicles. It's a fair bit of money, but you have to buy it once. These models have been in action since 1996. So that makes them quite old. What's that, 31 years at Days Camp. So for 31 years, they're fine. They still are fine. All I've done is label the bases a lot, because when we're play testing, I wanted every player to know exactly what things were. So although that's obviously a mortar team, I put a tab on the back saying mortar. It just helps all the players say, oh yes, it's a mortar team. They don't get it confused with anything else. I mean, obviously as you get older, your eyesight gets poorer, so it's quite nice to label things anyway. And it means from across the table, players can see if it's a mortar team or a machine gun team. You get the idea. Anyway, that's an army. This particular one is Army Number 1, which is the Religious Movement Army. If I showed you another army, Army Number 2, People's Popular Front. Now, Army Number 2 gets some things that Army Number 1 didn't have. This one can have some heavy armour. It can also have some nice transports and things. And it's got other limits. So at the top, it can have 1 to 3 regular units and 1 to 2 militia. Now, these numbers may look high. The reason is because you can actually buy 1 extra unit. It's very expensive at 10 points, but you could have started off the game with 4 units. So you could have 3 regular, 1 militia, or 2 militia, 2 regular. The only trouble with having a 4th unit, it's jolly nice, but that 10 points stops you having all the extra lovely things that you might like. The other thing is at the bottom of the page, there's some special things for each army to make it different. Now, the religious army starts communications level 3, which is fine. The men event gets +6 on the scenario builder. The cause event gets +6 on scenario builder. Unlike any other army in the book, it's allowed a 3rd pair of technicals. And all assaults cost 3, not 4. You usually pay 4 points for assaults, only costs 3. This is a playtest version of the rules, so the lovely pink paper isn't in the final edition. Okay, that's how to build an army.